Welcome to the Bob and Barry Live preview show for this Monday. I'm Santa Bob McMasters. This is June 13th, 2022. Okay, so give it up for my co-host over here, Mr. Barry Cummins.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be with you on this balmy Monday from Alabama. 93 degrees, feels like 106. I think I saw the devil coming out of Lowe's with a shopping cart full of air conditioners earlier, but I wasn't sure.
That's a possibility. It's definitely warm. Before we get going here too far, let's give a warm welcome to Angela Mack, who is with us today, as always, on the boards, making a difference. Yes, hot is definitely the word. You know, those of us that live in the South, we complain about the cold, we complain about the hot. We like it medium well, and that's the way we like it. So definitely we've had a high pressure sitting over the top of north central Texas the last few days. My goodness, it was so smoldery out there yesterday and hot, and trying to work outside doing outside things around the house. I thought it was going to melt, man.
Yeah, it's warm. I went to see my nephew play baseball earlier today, and the wind hadn't been blowing. It had just been miserable. So he had a great game.
Well, I'll tell you, this time of year, the children that are out playing soccer, football, practice, baseball, I don't know. You know, it's tough. It's brutal to have to take lots of water breaks, get hydrated. And you know, the key is you really have to start getting hydrated several days in advance before going outside to do any extracurricular activity. If you don't, you're already behind.
Yeah, that's same for Santa season too. You know, you're going to be in a hot suit. You know, start hydrating a few days before you put on the suit if you got a long day.
That's correct, and that's a good point because that's my POV for tomorrow night for the Tuesday night live show, our little segment that we do each week. This week I'm going to take it on, and that's going to be part of it, is being prepared for the season starting right now. We're not that far away. Time flies by so fast, so we'll discuss that in depth tomorrow night.
Those Christmas in July events will be here pretty soon, and I've noticed now Hallmark's even running some Christmas movies, this month.
Yeah, it seems that it's, earlier and earlier each year for everything. I have noticed too, there's a couple of channels that we've picked up on our local cable that pretty much play Christmas year round now. So, and of course, then there's the shopping channels like QVC. They start their shopping season and have their Christmas stuff in July on also. And of course, we have the Christmas in July events that our supplier has that they put it out in July and leave it through Christmas. I'm trying to think the name of it. Hobby Lobby. Man, I hate getting old. Sometimes the brain just don't want to connect. Yes, Hobby Lobby. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be coming up here pretty quick.
Hey, let's say hi to everybody that's joining us here today. AJ, Kat, Adam, Marvin, Scott, Eric and Moesha, Jeff, Santa Mark, good to see you. Scott Parker, hello. Santa Tom.
Yeah, and
seeing y'all.
Before we get to our trivia here, I just want to mention, since Eric and Moesha is on today, we launched our YouTube channel a couple of weeks back. You've gotten all of the previous shows all the way through this last week from the time that Angela Mack took over as producer. I'm going to be working on some more stuff there here soon. But I went over this morning to look to see what kind of views we were getting. And the Eric and Moesha has the most views out of all the shows that are posted at this point. So congratulations to them. I'm sure they have lots of family and friends and those that wanted to hear their story that's been over there watching.
Bob, tell them how to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Well, for right now, and we're setting at 50 subscriptions. We need 100. If you know anyone who might be interested in just subscribing and watching an occasional replay of our shows, we would love for you to go over there. Give us a subscription. Click on that, please. We need 100 so that we can privatize our URL address. instead of having all the hashtag backslash numbers and letters jumbled up as the address, we actually get to use the Tuesday Night Live show as part of our address, which will personalize it. El Angela has this running across the bottom of the screen, how you can subscribe. Go over to the YouTube, check us out. There are other shows that are similar in title to ours, but I believe we are the only one, the Tuesday Night Live show.
If you put live in all capitals, you'll find it there, and look for Bob and Angela's picture there.
But if you do have trouble, just reach out to either Angela, me, or Barry, and we'll get you hooked up. We'll send you a hot link to it and put a little mustard on it and enjoy it. All right, you want to do trivia?
Yep, let's go ahead and roll that trivia.
Oh, sorry.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for the Bob and Barry Live Preview Show. The Bob and Barry Live Preview Show is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Don't forget to check out their sister site, MrsClausJewels.com, where Mrs. Claus Janice is a leading supplier for Mrs. Claus, elves, and Santa jewelry, knickknacks, and accessories. Both Tom and Janice are passionate about exceeding your expectations, bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Visit their sites at santascloset.org and mrsclausjewels.com. This is Elf Angela reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to the Bob and Barry Live Preview Show and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
All right. Thank you, Santa Tom Cordemelia and santascloset.org for sponsorship. And as always, the winners will get this awesome brass Santa key here, along with some other goodies. But this is going to be movie trivia. And Toy Story 2 is the movie. In Toy Story 2, who saves the three-eyed green alien toys in the delivery van? In Toy Story 2, who saves the three-eyed green alien toys in the delivery van? That's hard to say.
It's a tongue twister.
Good luck to those. Looking for who saves the three-eyed green alien toys in the delivery van.
Got one answer coming in there. That is
It's not Buzz Lightyear.
not correct. It's not Buzz Lightyear.
Nope.
No, not Buzz. No. It's a very well-known character, that's for sure. This particular character's been around long before Toy Story came along, from our childhood. We all love playing with the particular toy.
I even know some people that the toy looks like.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like we got some good answers coming in now. All right, so remember, if you won in the last 30 days on the Monday show, this is only the Monday show. You're not eligible, but we will announce the winner at the end of the show, or not the end of the show, this afternoon. Well, we're all having trouble today. This afternoon on the Set Bob's Live, we'll give you the trivia answer question at the end of the show. Working out in the heat will get you, man. F. Angela washed all 3 vehicles yesterday in the sun, and she is burnt like a lobster. And like I said, I almost had a heat stroke, man, and wife out there working, and you said I in it this morning at the ball game. So, hey, heat has a weird way of affecting you.
It sure will.
Yes, it will. So, real quick, back to Eric and Mo. 99 views on y'all's YouTube channel, your episode on YouTube channel. So 99, that's the highest hit count we've got for all the shows so far. And a lot of the shows have gotten great hits so far, and really excited about that. We hope people take advantage of going over, watching the YouTube channel, checking out each one of the episodes. And, there's so much information and so much to learn. And I catch myself doing it all the time. Matter of fact, since we went to YouTube, I'm able to pull it up on my giant screen in my living area and rewatch. And I've said many a night now, rewatching a lot of those shows because of the coolness of being able to rewatch and learn and seeing it on that giant screen instead of the small laptop. It's really neat. Hey, Scott Parker, I just want to give a shout out to Scott Parker. He is now a father-in-law. His daughter Aubrey got married this weekend.
Congratulations, Scott.
Huh?
I said congratulations, Scott.
Oh, yeah. With much fanfare. It was a fantastic wedding. It's something Scott and his ex-wife and family has been planning for some time. And he came down to Texas for that. I don't know if he's left yet or not, but he hung out with some of his friends over in Fort Worth and sang karaoke.
No, he's still here.
Yeah, he's still here. Okay, well, fantastic, man. Hey, welcome to the heat. Of course, you're used to it. You've been here for a number of years and know what to expect.
Yeah, one good thing about the YouTube channel, too, is you don't have to go through a bunch of other posts to get directly to the videos. They're just right there, and you can watch them back to back to back. If you want to do that, you have to scroll through a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, they're easy to click on now, even though we have on the Set Bob's Live page the episode and stuff at the top of the page. It's pinned to the top of the page. You still have to go down to the video section in the photo and dig through to find which episode you're actually looking for. So this YouTube makes it a lot easier and a lot more accessible. Scott says he'll be here to Wednesday morning. All right, brother, we'll stay hydrated.
You want to take our guest tomorrow night on the Tuesday Night Live show?
Yes, sir. You bet. Let's go.
Tomorrow night, June 14th, we have from Norman, Oklahoma, Bo Turner. Bo's been a video journalist for many years. He's been a real bearded Santa. Had some health issues, had to shave his beard off, and now he wears a traditional beard. And it's going to be interesting to find, out how that's going, because normally you start off with a traditional, then you go to a real beard. A lot of guys do. So it's going to be really interesting. And following Bo on June the 21st, we've got Gina Bacon. June the 28th, we've got Larry Talbert. And July 5th, we kick off July with Robin Fair, Mrs. Claus. And July 12th, be from Branson, Missouri, with none other than Spangle. So looking forward to all those great guests coming up.
That's correct. And just 2 days later, on the 14th, Barry and I will be live from Branson. We're both going to be there for the SOS this year. We'll be doing a fantastic show from there. Going to have catch Joan Rivers, get an interview with her, try to get an interview with Elvis, and interview a lot of the participants, over 120 people or right at 120 people for that event. It's going to be big, going to be large, going to be fun. And then the two Branson shows to top that off. Fantastic time. Can't wait. We're going to have so much fun.
I just wonder if Elvis let me fly to Lisa Marie and let's go find us a cheeseburger joint on the West Coast somewhere.
Possibility.
Fired up, Big E.
Exactly. Scott says, I have to go back to work. I'm broke. Have daughters. It's fun. Laugh out loud. Yeah, true. Weddings are not cheap. And you guys really put on a big gala for her. That was fantastic. Everything I've seen was looks like everyone had a great time. And no addition to the family with your son-in-law. Now you can break his back like most father-in-laws and mother-in-laws do. Put him to work.
Bob, tell them a little bit about what we're doing at the end of the season, where we're putting together a panel of Santas for tough questions from the chair. Give our viewers a little bit of information about that.
That's correct. That will be I believe, the second week in October 11th, I think we said. put together 10 of the top experienced Santas. We may try to grab a Mrs. Claus and throw in there or two to help, but we're looking for a hard answer from the chair. This doesn't have to be a mall position or a big box store. You know, when you go to home visits, you go in. Usually, they have a place for you to sit. It's the same setup. You know, you sit down as Santa, and children come up and talk to you, and you get these questions, and we're going to put together that. I think that's going to be a show that no one really wants to miss because, my goodness, the value of the hard answers is going to be so tremendous because a lot of the newer guys, when they get started, this is one of the toughest things is think that you're prepared, you've done your homework, you've even been to a school or two, but the children always throw that question out there, one or two questions that sometimes stumps you. So we're going to have a complete show on nothing but hard answers.
And I think it will do us well to have 2 or 3 Mrs. Clauses on
I
there.
agree.
So I'm going to line us up some.
Yeah,
We'll get tough questions too.
We kind of built it as Santas, but I didn't want the ladies to feel left out to know that we're also thinking of them. We've got top performing Mrs. Clauses that have years of experience that can answer a lot of those questions too. And, you know, a lot of times Mrs. Claus is sitting right there with Santa while they're performing. And, you know, heck, I know my Mrs. Claus has a better memory than I do. So sometimes I have to fall back on her to get her to remind me, what did that child ask? What did they say? You know, and so always good to have the missus with us.
For sure. And then the Halloween show, that's going to be fun. The only requirement that we have there, we'll bring everybody into the studio. You can't come dressed as Santa or Mrs. Claus. Has to be some character outside of the Christmas community. So it was a lot of fun last year.
That was a ton of fun last year. I enjoyed that show so much. And you know, it was different for us because we had kind of settled in for the year after doing so many shows week in and week out and had this little pattern set up and the way we done things. And that was totally new and off the wall and off the cuff, really. I mean, we had some issues, but we worked through them, and I can't stop thinking about how much fun it was. And that show is also over on YouTube. So if you have not got to see the Halloween show from last year, go and watch it. It was a ton of fun.
Some people had some great costumes for sure.
Yes, they did. Melissa Lynn, I believe, won Best Costume with her sugar. Again,
some kind of skull thing she
had.
had.
Yeah, sugar skull. I was trying to think of what it was. Yeah, it's fantastic. All right, so we got any questions or discussions? Anybody have anything they want to talk about today? Yes, the roundtable show will be incredible. I'm really, I mean, you know, and I know you guys get tired of hearing me say how excited I am, but it's one thing about this show is if you don't get excited, there's something wrong with you, man, because any show that we do has a certain amount of excitement leading up to it. During the show, our guests are always phenomenal. We learn so much week in and week out, and then you put together something like this 10-panel and we limited it to 10 people only because, I mean, I would love to have more than that, but only because with our paid StreamYard account, we can only have 10 people in the studio. So that's why we're limiting it to 10.
But what we do on the Halloween shows, we'll bring in a bunch, and then we can take people out and just rotate them through on different times.
Scott's wanting to know where my hair is. Scott Martin. That's back here. I got it pulled back today, man. It is so hot. You know, that's another bad thing about being a real bearded Santa with a little bit of hair on your head. Dude, this heat will get you.
He probably thought you shaved your head like your heroes.
Yeah, right there. Oh, after the show, I'm going to go over, you know, mention heroes. I'm going to go over and watch the links to the YouTube videos that you sent me of when you were wrestling as a youngster in the professional wrestling ranks.
Yeah, I found one of those matches last night on YouTube. I was thrilled. It's like, man, I had a lot of hair then too.
You did. I noticed that in the picture that you sent me. But hey, time has a way of changing us all.
Oh yeah,
That's for sure.
absolutely.
Randy, I don't know what's going on there. That seems to happen periodically. I don't know, because the way that we had understood it in the beginning of the show last year was that you only had to get permission one time to be able to have your name show up from Facebook onto StreamYard. Now I know that some of the issues I run into here in Dallas, Texas, and we've got Spectrum cable here, is the fact that they have so many different towers throughout North Texas here, and I will log in and it'll say they don't recognize the login, not the Spectrum, but to say to my Google, and they'll do a security check on me, make me go through a security question or the robot deal to make sure that it's me. And when I did some research on it, what it is I don't go to the same place each time that I log in. It takes me to different towers on this side of town, so sometimes they don't recognize them. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not, but I guess that's one of the joys of living in a big metropolitan area.
Melissa said every so often you have to give permission again. That's happened to me twice.
Okay, Scott Parker said the same thing. He had to go do his again too. So Randy, you might get a chance to run over there and give permission again. You don't have to do it today. You can do it before tomorrow night's show or whenever it's convenient for you.
Yeah, I wonder if it has something to do with, like, sometimes Facebook will update some little things on there, and maybe each time they do something, you have to do that. I'm not really sure.
Could be StreamYard updating. Could be either way, since we're going through a third party into Facebook to do what we do. All right. So, any questions? Any discussion? Anything else anybody wants to talk about today? Hey, if you have any questions you'd like to throw to Bo Turner for tomorrow night's show, let us know. There's a lot of really good history there with Bo, and as a photojournalist, I know that's a couple of the questions that we have set up for him.
Hey, I'd like to say happy birthday in heaven to my dad. He would have been 87 years old today. June 13th, 1935 is when he was born. So I lost him in 2009. So it's always a special day for me.
Yes, it is. Kind of somber at times. I know it is for me on those birthdays, but then, you think about all the good times. Of course, a little sadness pops in there at times also. So Adam wants to know, how much do you charge for a group home visit? Adam, brother, that's a tough question. We get that question a lot. We see that question a lot on Facebook, and we get it at Sat Bob School. Almost every class we have. It's something that we do talk about in class. We go through it. It really has so many variables that it's hard to give a standard answer to that. And I know for me, when I went into the barbecue business, I researched all the barbecue restaurants in my area. I also went to some of the top in Texas and just kind of seeing what they charge for things. Well, the one thing that most of them doesn't put up is if you're going to do a catering job, a big catering job for a corporate event or something of that nature. So at that point, I thought, well, I'll call and act as if I'm a customer, and I will find out that way, which I done. And that's kind of the same way when I became a Santa. I did the same thing. I went and looked at all the top Santas and Santas in my area. I went to their websites if they have websites, and I've just seen it. And some put up their pricing, some don't. I have my pricing on mine. I would rather a customer know what my price is. That way, going into it, they don't have any doubts. They don't have any questions. And of course, I put out there that everything's negotiable. So if they think that it's too high, they can contact me. We can work something out. But at least you don't get 100 million calls of folks calling you to say, "What's your price? What's your price? What's your price?" It's already out there. But I know that, Adam, most guys charge anywhere, and it depends on. So before I go there, let me go here first. Depends on the area that you're in. For me, in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, this is a gigantic metropolitan area. So what we could charge here in North Texas would be different than say rural Alabama. Not that you're worth more, not that you perform any different, not that your home visits don't last longer or whatever. It's just the fact that it depends on where you're at and what your climate will allow. And for us here in North Texas, being a large metropolitan area with all the different top Santas that there is to choose from, and Mrs. Clauses, the pricing is a little bit different than say a rural area or somewhere down in East Texas, or as I said, in rural Alabama. So I know I didn't give you a definitive answer there, but I can tell you that most guys charge anywhere from $100 to $250 an hour for the first hour. A lot give a break for that second and third hour. Most will drop $25. Say, okay, so let's put it this way. If you're going to charge $100 for a 30-minute, some guys do 30 minutes, some guys do 1 hour, say $100 an hour. You're there for an hour. They end up wanting you for 2 hours. I would give a break, either $75 or $50 for the second hour. But again, it's not really a definitive answer, but it kind of gives you an idea. Also, go ahead.
I was going to throw this in there too. Make sure whatever you charge them and everything, that you exceed their expectations on what they're getting and everything. Have it at such a quality that you exceed their expectations, because I see that backwards a lot of times, and people wants to charge a big high fee. You go in, it don't meet what standards they're looking for, and you never get hired again. So just, whatever your experience level is, exceed expectations for that.
That's correct. And again, another equation, part of the equation is how many people is going to be at that gathering. If it's a home visit, I have done home visits where aunts and uncles and cousins and even next door neighbors have come to that event, and you end up having 3 or 4 or 5 families and end up with 10, 15, 20 kids, when a lot of times you may go to a house that is just for their family. They only have 3 or 4 children. And so that varies also, because of course, the more children, the longer time you're going to be there, the harder you're going to work, the more presents you're going to give out, the more questions you're going to have to answer. But as Barry said, make it exceed their expectation, because I think the biggest compliment is when they ask you before you leave, are you available for next year? Or they contact you within a few days and say, we want to book you again this time next year. And that way, at that point that you've done what you should have done. You give them everything they wanted and then some. Yes, Scott. I didn't look to see how much you shaved off, Scott Parker. Did you shave it all off, or did you just trim it up tight? Wait for an answer there. Santa Tom says it's what the market will bear and what experience demands. That's correct, Tom. That's the best way to put it. And how much in demand you are. That's true too. A lot of guys book up for the middle of June, July. Some guys are already booked for the season. That's a good problem to have right there.
I'm just wondering this year how fuel prices is going to affect the Santas.
Well, I've seen on some of the threads on Facebook where guys are talking about, definitely charging and a lot of us charge. For me, if I go stay within a 25-mile radius, I don't charge any extra fees. If I go outside of 25 miles, then I start adding a little bit to that to compensate for the travel, the gas, time. But I've seen where some guys already this year are talking that they're doing it square one this year, right off the bat, because of gas prices. There will be a gas surcharge built in. And this was kind of the question that went back and forth in the threads that I saw. Do you just add to your hourly rate? Say normally you would charge $100, now you're going to charge $120 or $110 an hour to make up for that, or do you still leave it at $100 and then put in as a added charge in there, fuel surcharge or fuel tax or travel tax, or however you want to word it, and then get that way? Tom says we think we need to add a fuel surcharge. That's what everyone's talking about. That way it's spelled out, but then some guys are saying, "But what happens if that turns people off?" Well, I think most people understand right now that gas prices are crazy and off the chain. So if you're afraid of that, then just raise your rate to 110 an hour, 120 an hour, whatever you have. Bump your rate up a little bit, build it in. It's there, and no one knows the difference. Yeah, I was thinking that I was thinking that someone had said you had cut it all off except goatee, Scott Parker.
All right, Bob, you want to take us out of here for the day?
Yeah, we got one more comment here real quick. Pricing credibility needs to charge same fee for all clients in the same area. This is true. Very true. Good point there. All right, so we've went a little bit over 30 minutes. We'd like to try to hold this one to 30. So we're going to say good afternoon to everyone. We hope that if you are in the heat, that you stay hydrated. Keep yourself in the shade. If you are out working, as we were yesterday, take frequent breaks. I was telling Barry before the show, I like to take a hand towel, wet it, set it in the freezer for a couple of minutes, and pull it out, put it around my neck. It really makes a difference when you're out in the heat.
All right, everybody, join us tomorrow night for the Tuesday night live show where a special guest will be Bo Turner from Norman, Oklahoma. Hope to see you there. Sat Bob's Live, 7 p.m. Central Time. And remember, we do this because we care. Take us out of here, Bob.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for showing up today. We love you all. We appreciate you very much. We couldn't do this without you. We're just glad to be able to share a little bit of knowledge and a whole lot of chit chat and entertain everyone on a Monday afternoon. What else you going to do on Monday when it's 103 with a heat index of 107 and 108 outside, right? Thank you so much for showing up. Till next time, remember, next Monday, 3 p.m., tomorrow night, 7 p.m. See everyone then. God bless. We'll see you soon.